The knight. Knights were a huge part of medieval times culture. Chivalry was strongly believed in. It was a code of behavior that knights were expected to follow. It used to mean horsemanship, but turned into much more. Knights were expected to be chivalrous. They had to be brave and respectful. Their duties were to protect the weak and be respectful to women. Lastly, they had to show loyalty to their king at all times. When knights went to battle, they went on war horses. These horses grew up training to go to battle. They had to be very strong so that they could carry the knight and all of his armor. Then add on the fact that the knight was fighting others while on the war horse. Knights also participated in competitions called tournaments. This gave knights the opportunity to practice the skills they would use during battle. During battle, the knights did not want to harm other knights, only win the competition by catching their opponent. The church was in charge of the rules so that the knights would stay healthy enough to go to battle when they were needed. These tournaments were held in large grandstands where lords and kings would come and watch. Sometimes knights would receive tokens from ladies. This was meant as a good luck charm. A common event in tournaments was jousting. This is when the knight would ride his horse to meet another knight on his horse in the middle of the grandstand. Both knights would try to knock their opponent off his horse with a wooden lance. Both knights would also carry a shield to try to defend themselves. Knights were required to wear armor for their safety. It was not comfortable. Their armor was chainmail, which was lots of metal rings interlocked together. The knights had to wear a padded tunic underneath the chainmail so that it would not harm his body. The armor weighed from 20 to 60 pounds. Another type of armor that knights used to wear was called plate armor. It came later in the medieval times period. It was made of curved metal plates. This helped the designer to create armor that fitted exactly to the knight's body. It was much more comfortable and not as heavy as the chainmail armor. A knight's journey starts when a boy is 7 years old. He must also be the son of a noble. They were sent away from their families to start their training. At this stage in their training, they were called pages. Their first job was to learn proper manners, follow orders, and learn how to serve the lord he was staying with. They were allowed to use small swords and learned how to ride a horse. When a knight turned 15 years old, they became squires. They were called this because they were not allowed to carry shields. Squire meant shield carrier. Now their jobs were to take care of their knights' horses, weapons, and armor. The squires also learned to help the knight into his armor. The knight taught the squires how to fight, use larger weapons, and hunt. By age 21, a boy would become a knight. This was a grand celebration that included his friends and family. They would have a dubbing ceremony where the lord or king would take the knight's sword and tap him 3 times and dub him a knight. After the ceremony, the boy would now be called Sir and was officially a knight.